So here's a scam. I seen on Viber with Fred. I seen his community post about Floyd. Floyd, I don't know what the hell you was thinking. I hope this wasn't true. Caipirinhas in Brazil and Salvador are like $1 to $2 for that drink. In Recife, we ran to a spot. They became $4. Okay, that's Recife, different city, whatever. I've gotten scammed for a caipirinha. They told me 10 reais down here. Down there, they told me 40 reais. Divide that by 5. That's $8 versus $2. Okay, that happened a handful of times. When I was in Senegal, I got scammed a handful of times in one day, meaning 4 to 5 times in one day. It's constant.
Hi guys. So Austin had another disgraceful life, and in this disgraceful life, I have to give him one thing. He's not as rambling as he was in the last life, but in this one, he claimed, he said that Africans were scammers. He said every freaking country he was in, he was scammed. He even, ranked the countries by where he was scammed the most, and Senegal came on top. Excuse me. And so Senegal came on top, and listen to him describing the scams that were done against him.
I go to the restaurant. You guys seen I ordered the fish and the potatoes or whatever I ate, rice or whatever it was. I'm counting and I'm adding as, okay, this is going to be that, this is going to be that. My bill has an extra 10,000 francs on top of it. And so I told him, I said, let me see the menu again. Why is this like this? There's no explanation. He doesn't know why it's like that. I said, why are you charging me more than what the menu says? So we got the taxi driver, we got the guy at the airport, and now we got the damn restaurant. Fast forward a few days into the trip. I'm jumping all over the place. This is what we do. I tell I'm used to going from my apartment on this side of town to the same location I go to every day. It was usually 2,000 francs, even if I stopped a taxi on the side of the street. This guy drives me to the house. He says 5,000. 5,000. 2.5, somewhere around 2.5 times what everybody else charged me. So I said, sir, I was like, come on, man, you know that's not right. I said, I do this every day. It's not 5,000. So he knew he was full of shit. So he does me like this. Come on, man, do it for me. You do it for me. You do it for me. Why should I do it for you? Why should I just give you damn near triple? Why? All right, man, 2,000. So I gave him two. I was only gonna give him 2,000.
So yeah, you just listened to him explaining all the scams that were done against him, right? Just so you guys know, 1,000 franc, Senegalese franc, is $1.70. So he makes it look like he was scammed thousands and thousands of dollars, but even like the largest scam, and I'm using scam in quotes whenever I'm saying scam, I'm putting air quotes on it, and 10,000 franc, Senegalese franc, that is like $17. So he makes it look like he was scammed out of a lot of money, but it's not. But what saddens me is him using the word scam, because what he's describing is not scam. Scam is when someone tries to sell you something that but doesn't you pay them and they don't bring the product, or they tell you they're selling you TV, but you open the box, it's not TV, it's some old radio. That's what scam is. What he's describing is being overcharged. And as Auston is an American, English is his first language. He knows that the correct term to what was done to him is overcharged, but he's using scam because he knows that scam uh, has a more negative connotation. It even has a criminal connotation, right? So instead of using the correct term, which is being overcharged, he decided to use the more negative, the worst term, the more worse term, which is a scam. And it is sad that he chose to do that because, mind you, his supporters are always saying how he is trying to put Africa in positive light. But you have him here going out of his way to put Africans in a negative light. When he could have used the term overcharge, he decided to use the term scam, which for me is not, surprising because, like I told this is something I would expect from him. But what saddens me the most is that someone asked him, um, do you notice that the poorer the country is, the more likely you are to be scammed, like the more likely the population is to engage in scamming? And he said yes. So what that tells you is that he knows that the scams, which are not scams, these are people selling him service and products, and they deliver the service and products that they are selling. They're just charging more than what they charge the locals. And he said yes. He said the poorer a country is, more he was likely to be scammed.
Do you think the amount of scamming is related to the poverty level of the country? Which does make a lot of sense, right? Because Zambia didn't have as much poverty. At least Lusaka did not have as much poverty in that city. I didn't see it. You might disagree with me. I only know what I saw. If you disagree and you're offended by that, I guess you can post a video of some poor people in Lusaka. I mean, we're not going to argue about this shit. But the places where there were less poverty is places like, and there's poverty here in Kenya too, for sure. But Kenya, Zambia, Rwanda, I didn't see as much poverty, and I will say I did not see as many scams in those places. Yes. It only makes sense that the more poor people you have, the more that people are going to try to get over on you. Yes.
And I'm like, so that the scamming is coming from poverty, is coming from desperation. It's poor people trying to make to squeeze as much money as they can. And here you are, going on the World Wide Web and defaming them, knowing that how in what desperate situations they are, and you are online attacking desperate people living in poverty, people living in desperate poverty. And you are here a privileged American with a large following, and you are here attacking them. You are using your platform to attack the poorest of the poor, the poorest people. It's sad, right? It's truly sad. But that's something you would expect. I don't think this guy understands, power differential. You are supposed to, supposed to give so much grace to people in desperate situation, right? To people, to the poor, to the economically deprived. But yeah, instead of doing that, he's actually using his privilege to insult them, to tell the whole world that poor people in Senegal are scammers. And like I said, they didn't scam him; they just overcharged him. Now, let me say something. The overcharging could have been avoided if this guy formed a close relationship with one or two locals. He could do that before he leaves for Senegal. if he tries to develop a relationship with one or two locals, Senegalese locals, Senegalese citizens, it's now thanks to the social media, creating relationship is much easier. You can create relationship without leaving your living room, right? He could have done that. But what he does is, he parachutes into a country and he expects to be treated like a local.
In Senegal, and had that, I pretty much had to just ask people or figure out what to do on my own, which is pretty much what I do everywhere I go. If I don't have anybody.
If he had a local by him, if he had developed a relationship with a local, and if the local guide, could, take him around, the local guide could, bargain fair price, local prices, he could have avoided being overcharged. But that's not what he does, right? He just goes to a country on a whim. Like, he literally went to Senegal on a whim. The only he got tired of being in Ghana for he didn't like Ghana, right? He wanted to get the hell out of Ghana, and he wanted to go to another West African country that didn't speak, where English is not spoken widely. So he went to Senegal, and he expects Senegalese to treat him the way they treat, the local Senegalese, the local people. So yeah, that's the problem with going to a country and before you develop relationship with at least one or two locals, and you cannot develop one a relationship when you are just hopping from one country to another every 10 days. But let me say this though, about the locals being overcharging him. When he does this, the locals are doing the locals are overcharging him because he's American, right? It's not because they hate him. They're overcharging him because he's American. They believe that $16 is not a lot of money for him, and in a way, in a way, he does the same thing, right? At least his supporters kind of try to justify him paying. Kesa only $100 for all the appearances she made, for all the views her appearances got him. He only paid her $100, and when I said that $100 was low, a lot of his supporters were leaving comments like this. We all know $100 goes further in Rwanda, meaning that 100 if 100 paying $100 to a Rwandan girl is a lot of money, because $100 is a lot of money in Rwanda. So it's if it is okay for him to pay Africans low price, low wage, low appearance fees, because the money goes further in America, in Africa. It means it is absolutely okay to charge him more than the locals, because 1,000 franc is not a lot of money for American, right? That's like 16 like $1.70. So in a way, they are using the same logic that he uses to underpay Africans. Basically, he's saying that he pays the African girls lower than what he paid the the than an African girls, the American girls, who make appearance in his shows, because $100 is a lot of money for an African. But so the Senegals that are scamming him, so what they are doing is they are charging him more, because 1,000 franc, Senegalese franc, is nothing for an American. So they know that the franc, like 1,000 franc, is not a lot of money if you are an American. So they are using the same logic that he is using. They are charging him more because he's American, because as an American, he has more access to money. It's not 1,000 Senegalese franc is not a lot of money. just the same way that he is underpaying the American girls because he believes that, $100 is a lot of money in Rwandan currency, in Kenyan currency, or in whatever currency, the dollar will be exchanged into. So yeah, so they are, he is calling them scammers for doing what he does. So what this means is, he himself is a scammer. The real scammer is actually him. He's the scammer. He is underpaying Africans, and that is, according to him, that is scamming. So he himself is the scammer. One other thing that I like it in that what is called live was that he said he has been contacting Kenyan Airways and Ethiopian Airways to try to get them to give him free ticket because he's telling them that he's some kind of social media influencer. So I guess if they gave him free tickets, he could mention them on his channel and bring them business. And
I will say hotels, because I'm actually starting to like hotels more than Airbnbs. Me staying in a hotel, for some reason, when I reach out to hotels, they never respond back. I've contacted airlines, they respond, but they don't respond with an answer yet for some reason. So I got to keep constantly calling them. African Airlines, to be specific, Ethiopia and Kenya Airways. I've been trying to reach out to Kenya Airways for the longest.
the Kenyan Airways and the Ethiopian Airlines are, they have been sending him back form letters, like letters that are not specific to what he's asking, which is actually, I think that is more insulting than, not replying at all. But they are doing that because I'm like, Ethiopian Airlines is one of, the top airlines in the world. They do not need his 80, like he is not that big of a social media presence. He doesn't have that big social media presence for him to get free tickets from a big airlines like Ethiopian Airlines, a big airlines like Kenyan Airways, and they have been sending him form letters just to let him know that he's not that important to get personalized response. He also is trying to get hotels to give him free rooms, and they have not even been replying at all. So yeah, I thought that was funny because I think that should tell him how big of an influence that he has, or how big of an influence companies believe he has, which is not that big. They don't believe that he has enough social media influence to get free tickets. And it is kind of egomaniac, like inflated ego, right? For him to expect free tickets from Kenyan Airways or Ethiopian Airlines, if not free, discounted tickets. Because the tickets, he's been complaining how expensive tickets are to fly within Africa. So why would they give him free ticket discounts like worth thousands and thousands of dollars for a mention in an account with like 80,000 followers, less than 80,000 followers on YouTube, and I think that is his large following across social media. The largest is in YouTube. Yeah, so yeah, but the live didn't surprise me. That he decided to attack Africans didn't surprise me. Yeah, so but yeah, that was a disgraceful live, right? Going on a live and to attack poor Africans. Anyways, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. Bye bye.